you for speaking to Queen Bee Latina today. It is such a joy to be able to speak to you. My family loves the show. My girls grew up watching the show. They're now young adults, but there's a lot of nostalgia tied to the show. So I have a couple questions for you.
Mhm.
How does season two of Monster High push the boundaries of storytelling and character development?
Yeah, with season two of Monster High, from the beginning, the show is all about inclusivity. And with season two, we were looking for new ways, new points of differentiation and diversity that we could really showcase to ensure that every kid at home, as much as we could within, 20 episodes, could see themselves represented. So that was really just kind of the guiding light for us from the beginning, is making sure that we are as authentically diverse as we could be with every story, with every character. So with our characters, every character, we want to just embrace this feeling of inclusion. And while we were looking to push that, we also want to make sure that each of our stories are just fun. So I think that was also really important as we looked at the characters and what kind of hijinks they're getting up to in these episodes.
I think as a parent, we really appreciate those things because a lot of times kids want to be able to identify themselves with the character, and that's not always the case in some of the shows that they watch. So I just want to say that we really appreciate that you did that. What themes or messages were most important for you to highlight this season?
As I was saying before, with Monster High, from the beginning, from its launch in 2010, it has been a property that had this just intrinsic DNA of it's all about diversity. So as we carried on in season two, we were just looking for ways to heighten that, to showcase more diversity. Within 90 episodes between season one and season two, there's only so much you can do, but we tried to do the most we could.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. How do you balance nostalgia for longtime fans like my girls while keeping the series fresh for a new generation?
That was one of the challenges, certainly, as we were getting into this G3 reboot, is understanding the DNA of the characters, what is important about each of the characters, what do fans love about them, but also knowing that we are going in and creating kind of different personas for a lot of these characters and different goals with our storytelling with these characters. So it was a tricky balance to try to figure out exactly where we wanted to be, but our primary audience as we're looking at G3 is kids. So we wanted to appeal to that core kid audience. If the older audience loves us, we're happy about that. But we know that there is a lot of G1 content still coming out. So as they were looking at the strategy, there is a lot of things that are for that kind of what we call the alumni audience. And we wanted to make sure that our content was specifically geared towards kids, but hopefully inclusive of a broader audience as well.
It definitely was, and even as an adult, like, I still really appreciate everything that you do for the kids to, be able to enjoy and also feel like they can really relate to some of the stories and challenges that they, are coming across in their lives, so that is really great. What was the biggest creative challenge in bringing the season to life?
I think one of the creative challenges that we always come up against as we're looking at new stories when we have this very big cast of monsters at Monster High is just deciding who we're going to focus in on. So, of course, we have our main trio, Claudine, Draculaura, and Frankie, who we want a majority of our stories to be about. And we obviously want to still have them at the heart of the series. But as we're looking at a very expansive cast, a whole high school full of monsters, it's always just a conversation of who are we going to introduce? Who are we going to focus on for these episodes? Whose stories do we want to tell? So with that, we had an opportunity in this season to do an episode about Finnegan and an episode about Manny and start to understand these other characters more as well. And I think that's one of the because Monster High has so many characters and
Right.
each of those characters have fans and each of those characters, like every time I post it on social media, someone will be like, bring back this character, bring back that character. I want to see this character. Um, it's just deciding who we have the space for at this time with our budget and kind of figuring out those challenges and how we meet the demand while giving each character their due.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to me, Shay. This was such a pleasure, and congratulations on the success of the show. We are so happy to see it come to DVD.
Great. Thank you so much, Angela.
Okay, have a good one.
You too.